Hello everyone and welcome to Product is Life, your one-stop shop for anything and everything about product management. In today's video, we are going to talk about the top 10 product management skills that every product manager must have. So what does it take to be a good product manager? There is no simple answer to this. Product management as a domain is still evolving and is one of the few domains which has not yet been transformed into an exact science. You think of marketing and immediately Philip Kotler's name comes to mind as a marketing leader. Investment enthusiasts have got a great deal to learn from Warren Buffett and his investment principles. Core tech world has their Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, etc. But when it comes to product management, there is no general consensus on a leader of the domain, and thus there are no role models or benchmarks for aspiring product managers to follow and learn from. So let's discuss the top 10 product management skills that every product manager must be good at. Storytelling. Storytelling is the most important product management skill and also probably the one most overlooked at. Product is not just a bunch of features. It should be able to tell a story. It should be a story about how a certain problem has troubled the users for decades and how your product is going to solve that problem, thereby making a positive contribution to the user's life. Because the truth is, the customers don't really care about your product, and subconsciously they are always evaluating whether this product is worth my time and attention. And you're not gonna win them over by saying that you have the best tech architecture or the best database design or by throwing stats at them. You have to connect with them at a personal or emotional level. For example, Facebook's story is always somewhat about staying connected with the world or connecting you with the loved ones. It's not about how easy it is to post an update or upload an image through their app. Apple's iconic 1984 commercial was not about a computer. It was about a rebel rising against an oppressive giant, which was a reference to IBM. User experience design. User experience is one of the key components of your product, and you should have complete clarity on how the user is going to interact with your product. What will be the user onboarding process, the transaction journey, the search and discovery experience, etc. Though the final prototypes will be created by the design team, but the vision has to be yours. Thorough competitive research helps you a lot in mastering this skill, as it makes you aware of the different design practices followed across different platforms and helps you make an informed decision on what works and what doesn't. It would help you a lot if, as a practice, you do regular brainstorming exercises with your design team, evaluating different platforms purely from a design perspective. Strategic or business thinking. You may be very passionate about your product, but at the same time, you must remember that everything is about business. If your product is not contributing to the business growth of the company, either directly or indirectly, then it is gonna die soon. Business alignment is an absolute must. Thus, as a product manager, you should always be able to think from a business perspective and make sure your product drives a business goal. For example, if you generate your business from ad revenue, like majority of the social media platforms, then you have to ensure that the browsing experience of your product is great, and your product should focus on driving engagement on the platform. More the time spent on the platform, more the ad revenue. If your revenue stream is transactional, like the e-commerce platforms, then you should ensure that the product's search and discovery experience is great and the transaction funnel is without any friction. Research and feedback. As a product manager, you would come across various terms like market research, competitive review, product market fit, user feedback, etc. etc. All of these are just different ways of saying research. You should be good at collecting information from different sources and deriving meaningful insights from it. For example, let's say your team wants to launch a subscription-based system for your services. Now, before jumping into PRD and design discussions, you should try to figure out things like, what are the key features of a subscription service offered by competitors, and are they missing anything? Talk to few users and try to understand the need for the subscription services and the pain point it solves. What are the best and the most commonly used payment methods for accepting payments for subscriptions? How easy or difficult it is or it should be to cancel subscriptions. Now, it may be at the cost of user experience, but some industries, for example banking and finance, intentionally make it very difficult to cancel subscriptions. Remember, business alignment is a must. Communication skills. Now, if you know even the tiniest bit about product management, then I don't need to stress about the importance of communication skills. This is pretty much the bread and butter of a product manager. With respect to the written communication skills, a product manager has to properly document their vision of the product so that the team can work on the same. It doesn't matter how beautifully you explain your product to the tech team. There is always going to be things which are going to get lost in translation. That is when written documentation in the form of PRDs, user stories, Jira tickets, and meeting notes comes handy. And also you will have to create a lot of documents from time to time, some important and some useless. For example, GTM strategy, roadmaps, process flow documents, tutorials, FAQs, and at times even marketing collateral for your product. Your efficiency at written communication skills will decide whether it takes you few hours, few days, or few weeks to turn around these documents. When it comes to verbal communication skills, this ties more closely with the storytelling skill. As a product manager, you attend lots and lots of meetings, and then you attend some more meetings. You'll also conduct a lot of user interviews for research and feedback purposes. You have to absolutely master the art of verbal communication. You should be precise, on point, and should be able to ask relevant questions from various stakeholders as well as answer their questions clearly. Leadership or stakeholder management. Product management is often referred to as leadership without any authority. That is because product managers have to interact with and influence multiple departments like tech, marketing, analytics, design, and that too without having any direct authority or reporting structure on these teams. Also, let's acknowledge that majority of the products that most of us work on are not using some out-of-the-world rocket science technology. Purely from a tech perspective, there are plenty of competitors who have already done like 80% or more of what we are trying to do. And thus, tech is usually the easy part. People are the ones that bring complexity. You need to maintain a good rapport with multiple teams because eventually they are the ones who will execute your vision of the product. You need to keep all the stakeholders motivated to work towards the common goal of product success. And for that, you have to earn their respect. Until you do that, you can't get anything done, and it doesn't matter how high up you are in the corporate hierarchy. Project management or prioritization. As famously quoted by Steve Jobs, ideas are worth nothing unless executed, and there is a tremendous amount of craftsmanship in between a great idea and a great product. First, let's be very clear that product management and project management are two separate domains. However, as a product manager, you can't just say that your job is done when you defined the product, wrote the PRDs or created wireframes, etc. It is your job to make sure that execution is also as per the plan. Irrespective of how big or small your company is, there is always going to be a tech bandwidth crunch, and you as a product manager should have a clear vision of what all products or features need to get built first and why. Now, depending upon your org culture, you may have to do all or just a small part of project management, but it is unavoidable. Technical skills. Now, though you don't have to be extremely hands-on with the technical skills, but since product managers spend a lot of their time working with the tech team, having a high level understanding of the tech architecture of your product goes a long way. You should be aware of the basic tech lingo like APIs, database, backend, frontend, AWS, cloud, etc. Analytics. At a certain stage of a product's life, product management is all about data. So, product managers need to be good with the analytics or data about their product. What is your daily active users? Your monthly active users, how many new users versus returning users your product has, what is your user churn, how many app downloads you have got, what are your engagement metrics, etc. etc. Identify your North Star metric, that is the most important metric that defines the success or failure of your product. Once you have identified your North Star metric, then regularly track it and make sure you evaluate the impact of any new product or feature on the North Star metric. Ownership. Ownership is an absolute must among product management skills. You can't really excel as a product manager if you don't give your 110% to your product. A product is often referred to as the product manager's baby, and that is absolutely true. A product manager must have a say, at least, in all the aspects of the product: marketing, analytics, tech, sales, everything, even if you are not the final authority in these domains. Now, this list is in no way exhaustive, and there are a lot more product management skills which are important. What do you think about these skills? Or if you have anything to add, let us know in the comments. Please like and share this video if you found it helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated with the latest developments in the product world.